Hey everyone, welcome to Manifestation TV. On today's episode, we have Shari Teigman.
You got it.
Shari Teigman, Soul Explorer. I'm so excited to have her. You've seen her around the internet. You've seen her, you've wondered about her, you've seen her sparkliness drawing you in, and you don't know why. So I'm here to explore that with you and find out what she does, how she does it, how she's manifested the amazing person that she is now. So I'll let her just jump in. And Shari, if you can tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are now in your business.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for that lovely introduction. A little embarrassed while I'm in the room. I hear you. How did I get here? This is a really interesting journey. So I am a single mom of two kids. About 7 years ago, I was living a very different life than I am now. I was living your standard Stepford wife, perfect house, president of PTO, perfect Sabbath meals in the modern Orthodox Jewish community that I grew up in, and it looked perfect from the outside. And my soul had long left the building. I was not me. My eyes were dead. I mean, if I look back at pictures of myself, it's still actually difficult. It's like as sparkly as I am now. There was like this numb vellum that was just not there. And I didn't even know, because I didn't know anything different. I only knew that something inside of me woke up. I'd love to say it was like this Truman Show moment where I just walked out of the sky, but it didn't turn out like that. It was a very messy, ugly, dark road to go. But I believe in darkness is where the stuff burns off and then the real fire comes through. So I went on a self-exploration journey while going through a very difficult divorce and parenting my two beautiful boys and saying, I have no idea what I want, but I know I don't want this. And as soon as I decided that my kids deserved more and then realized so did I headed down the rabbit hole of, well, what do I want? And who am I? And who was I that I forgot? And it's been the most beautiful, crazy, magical roller coaster ride that I wouldn't give any minute, well, maybe a couple of minutes, but I wouldn't give most of the minutes back. But to be on the other side of it, not only creating it in my own life, but then helping other people create that both in their life and in their business I get choked up about it because it's the most sacred, beautiful experience. Like, this is no job for me. This is sheer purpose all day long, all night long, paid, not paid. I mean, I literally float on a cloud of joy. It's just incredible. It's incredible.
Oh my God. I pull away so many things from what you just said, especially to our audience listening, that it took 7 years.
Oh yeah.
That people need to be realistic about.
Yes, and I think that's a great point, because and I remember me back then looking at people who's, I thought, although I was very jaded at the time, but like I wasn't even up to wishing for more, but I would look at someone, and I think people forget, both facilitators as well as clients, the stretch time that it takes, because I could never have quantum leaped to here. I would have exploded into particles, I think. I didn't understand who I was. The container has to slowly crank open, and part of that time and part of that sitting it is where the main magic comes from. There's no, I want to be that, so I'm going to start wearing what they wear. I'm going to start eating what they eat. I'm going to speak like them. I'm going to read the books they read. It's all beautiful and helpful, but that's not how it happens. It's going inward, sitting in your fire, sitting in your shame, sitting in your dark places. I'm a big proponent in my work and in my life of curiosity and play and creativity and passion. And it sounds very childish, which it may be, and I'm fine with that. We didn't take the light, easy road in order to get stuck and in pain. So you can't use the same way you got in to get out. Self-development doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be, it already is scary. So if you find your people, make it funny and light, make it curious, like when you were a little kid. Well, I know I can't see it right now, but what if? Then all of a sudden lights go on in rooms and possibilities come, and maybe you take some of them, maybe you don't, but you start to avail yourself choices that you forgot that you have. And I think right there is the kicker. We can't go, like, there is no direct line. There is no 10 minutes and you'll be all better. If there were, please somebody contact me, because I would like to press that button.
That is such an incredible awareness and such a crucial message to the entrepreneurs that we're working with, to entrepreneurs, to actors, to artists, to everyone who is afraid of sitting in their darkness.
Yeah.
That is the path to get to your light. There's no detour.
No. And we're all such go-getters by nature, and we have that crazy entrepreneurial spirit or that big visionary idea. So slowing down would be the last thing in the world that any of us would intuitively do, especially when our fear kicks in. It's like, okay, how fast can we spin so we can't feel anything? And I'm guilty of it myself, self-included here. When I slowed down, when I sat, when I looked and understood, I always use this example. You go to an amusement park, you know the ride you want to go on. If you have no idea where you are in the park, you're going to be passing a lot of funnel cake stores and not get anywhere near the ride, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. You'll think you're somewhere, but you have to figure out where you are, how you got there, what it feels like, what it means, what you want to feel instead, where you truly want to go and why, in order to take the quote unquote direct route there.
This is huge. This is a huge message, a powerful message, and really so connected to manifestation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And people, I have clients who come to me all the time, and the word manifestation is not necessarily a word that I use in my work, but it's funny because you see the people who are like the hustle go-getters, they do the same manifestation, they just don't call it that. They call it action taking or visioning or goal setting. There's a million ways to skin the cat of manifestation, but it's about setting your gaze on something outside of what you see now and heading towards it. It's that simple. It's that complicated.
Exactly. So, which brings me to my next question, which is the big break and the myth of the big break. And we've kind of covered this because it's taken you 7 years. It's been a path, and it's probably a path you're still on inside.
I will always be on, and it's one I will never take myself off of. I don't want to get there wherever there is. I'll be bored there. I know myself.
Goosebumps, people. Are you feeling the goosebumps? Like I am. So many goosebump moments. But yeah, don't want to get off the path.
No.
Stop looking.
I don't want to make it easy. I don't want to coast. I want to keep growing. If I got here from where I was, I cannot even fathom where I can go because I've let go of so many of the bags. So now I can travel more freely. But part of where I came from is why I'm here. If I didn't go through that pain and transformation, I couldn't help the people that I do in the manner that I do. So it's like, why would I walk away from that? And also, why would I just stay here? Like, what else is possible? It's a question I ask myself every day, even on hard days. That's how I move out of it. Okay, I see this in front of me now. What else can it look like?
That reframing. How can I reframe this from the vibration that I want to be living in?
And you also, when you start to clean the pool, so to speak, and start to see changes in your life, I'm going to say quote unquote good or bad, because people think manifestation is only good stuff. The stuff around you that you don't like, you created as well. And it's part of the ownership and sitting in it and saying, wow, I got this because I believe this about me. This is what I thought I was worthy of. This is what I thought I deserved. This keeps me safe. This keeps me protected. It's just factual. It's not, the universe is not out to get us at all. It's just, they're going to order what we want. A waiter's not going to tell you, do not, or maybe they will. Most won't. Do not eat that pizza. You want that pizza? Don't complain to me afterwards. So we forget that when we want something else, we're still for a while only going to see what we ordered beforehand. You have to wait for the new order to ship from the Universal Amazon, warehouse. And that's the hardest part of this, is still believing and trusting I can have what I want even if I don't see it. But it's about that vibration and about I don't like what I feel like here and I can't see anything different, but how can I feel what I want to feel? Is it music? Is it dancing? Is it going outside? Is it playing with a puppy? Is it dancing? I play with my kids. Is it getting the hell away from my computer? Is it, pulling the camera back away? Is it me running with my notebook somewhere far away that no one can come to me and I can actually feel myself? when I feel myself, I can create anything I want. And I forget it all the time. I'm very human in this because the motor does start going faster. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did I order this? Or did I intentionally order this? Or did I order this one by accident? I should.
That's an amazing analogy. I love that. Because it's what you're ordering intentionally or unconsciously with your subconscious tapes.
Yeah.
That have ordered the same thing for 20 years.
And that's where the humor and the playfulness comes in and go, oh, hello again. I don't remember pressing that reorder button. And when I'm playful with myself, I don't beat myself up. You can't be in playing gratitude and also be angry. It's just ergonomically impossible. So it's like, I will laugh when my ex-husband comes at me again. I'm like, where did I let my guard down on this one? Where did I get wonky with my vibration? I didn't dance yesterday. And it sounds silly, and I don't care because there were years I had no silliness in me, and I nearly died under there. So if silly is my savior, I will do it every day in front of whoever I'm in front of. I couldn't care less. I'll invite them to dance with me.
I love that. That's your invitation, people, to get your silly on or whatever gets your vibe high.
Yes.
And keep returning to that until you feel better. My next question, which kind of is leading from this, from your silliness, from your dancing, what kind of daily practices do you have to keep yourself in your high vibe?
So the answer that I would love to give you is a perfectly planned out list of exactly what I do ritualistically from 8 to 8:11 and then 8:12 to 8:16. And there's a part of me that would love nothing more than that. And I'm happy to answer that I don't have it. The reason I'm happy is because it's very real. And many people look to people who are in our positions and say, oh, well, they must have that magical mindset. I'm still working on mine. I'm very stubborn. I'm very rebellious. So even if I'm the one who made the rules, I still have to break them. It's just my nature. So instead, what I have is kind of like a master list of things that do get me into a vibe. I do not pick the same thing every day. I do not do it at the same time every day. Again, I wish I did. I'm working on it, but it also may not be my way. It can
start to feel like work again.
Exactly. And as soon as it takes the joy out, I'm out. So that's a rule for me. That's a rule I won't break. So on my list is EFT, music, journaling. Now, some days I hate all of those and I won't touch them. Some days I just want, and even the type of music, it can be soft yoga music and I'm doing like a little bit of a yoga / meditation thing. And other days I will be dancing to hip hop in my kitchen. Some days I say, you know what, I'm not in the mood to do anything. Other days I'll go for a walk. Sometimes I'll go to a Zumba class. I will call a friend that I want to speak to, set up like a Skype coffee day because all my friends live in my computer these days. I have a range, and this is what I do with my clients, a full list of like the ABC days. A is your perfect morning, ritual thing where you cover all the things you want. So it's a 2-hour beautiful practice. C is your emergency list where I got to get out of this mood and fast. And B is somewhere in between. And I pick and choose. As long as I know I give myself something intentionally, then to me, I'm sending the message to the universe that I'm showing up.
Oh,
if I structure it more than that, I'm out.
That's gorgeous. And that speaks to so many of us. We're entrepreneurs because we are rebels, because the 9 to 5 doesn't fit for us.
Yes. And every book even that has the perfect ways to it, I read them and then I don't do them.
Because our conscious mind
for
wants
2 days,
the logic.
I am like their star student. And then I don't even remember I read the book. My brain just is on its own track.
Yeah. And the conscious part of us wants that perfect formula.
Yes. And then of course we then beat ourselves up. I didn't do it. That means I fell off the wagon. That's not going to help your vibration. Whether it's practically true or not, the person who wrote the book wrote it from their full heart wanting to help other people. That doesn't mean it's for you. You can honor their journey, honor the fact that they found something that works so beautifully, and then go find your own.
Truth, capital T.
And I believe that in terms of business planning as well. There's no one out there that's wrong, and there's no one out there that's right for you except for you.
Oh my God. I feel like I need to testify to that one. Testify in the comments if you're feeling that and hearing that, and stop looking for the fix.
Yeah.
Perfect fix. Look for people you vibe with that raise your vibe,
and then figure out
them.
Yes. And what's interesting is when you find them, don't follow them like a guru. Figure out what it is about them, because it's a mirror for you. So
Or work with them because you like their vibe.
1,000%. And there's a reason that you're drawn to them. And I'm a big believer in figuring out why. Same as the people who trigger you. What is it? Is it an authenticity thing? Is it an energy thing? Is it that you like the way you feel when you're around them? Is it something they have in them that you strive for? Or is it something you think you can never have? Like, I'm not techie, so I look at techie people like they're from Mars and they're the coolest people ever. So I will work with them because they balance who I am. Someone who's very airy-fairy, I can relate to, but I wouldn't work with them because sometimes it's too similar vibration or something that doesn't even, it's great, but it's not for me. It's not that they're bad or good. It's just not, I like to be very intentional about why I fall in love with someone and why someone's stuff doesn't resonate, or why I'm drawn or repelled, because there's a lot of good information in there to move forward in how you want to present yourself to your own clients. So it's great market research at all times of why is this working?
Absolutely. Oh my God, this is such good information. People, I hope you're jotting this down as you're watching this. What has anything surprised you in this path that you've taken?
I think everything.
Besides everything.
Everything. What has surprised me is how hard the road is and how easy the road is, depending on how you let it. I think it's surprising. I had no idea what a self-transformative experience it was going to be to open a business. This is the best container to heal all of your stuff. I would say, you want to heal your stuff, build your own business, then go work for someone when you're done, because everything will come up. Surprising is also the community and tribe of people that I've found. I never knew anyone like me in my life. And now I'm so blessed, and it brings tears to my eyes, to be surrounded by my people. It's magic. I mean, none of this would happen without this. Like, suddenly I have friends all over the world. I have support systems. I have people who truly understand and believe in my work. I believe in theirs. I think we all rise together. I don't believe in competition because we're all so unique. So it's like, who can I collaborate with? Who can I have a conversation like this with? Who can we then share it with? It's like, I'm like in a candy store of love. It's fascinating.
I love that. I love that. Something that I didn't have on the questions, but that I wanted to ask you is, what do you say to the people who feel like they have their finger on the quick fix trigger? Okay. Because they're in survival, because they're in that place that you were so many years ago. What is the first step they need to take?
Great question. And I'm happy you asked it, because just like we said at the beginning, we don't want to be telling people that they're just supposed to start feeling something. I tell everyone, and because I was where I was, I will never skip over this part. First of all, I think it's a real disrespectful thing to do to someone's journey, to assume that they can move out of that, because you can't until you can. And when you can't, there's nothing more scary than seeing people doing things you want to, and you're pressed up against the glass and you don't know how to get through. It hurts more. It makes other people's stuff look more perfect, your stuff look more broken. It actually, to me, does more damage than good. And that's why I'm very careful in my work to always be very vulnerable. When I have a bad day, you will hear from me as much as when I have a good day. It's key to remember how human we all are. This is not a fun road all the time. There are days I hate this, and I would still never do anything else. So my thing that I would tell them is similar to what I said before, is, as much as you're going to hate me for saying this, slow down. Pick up a notebook, pick up a voice recorder, tell yourself what you're actually feeling. Start a conversation that your inner self, inner child, inner teenager, inner young adult, whoever you want to be speaking to, is craving so badly, which is why it's knocking things over in your life. What is it the inside of you wants to tell you? What is it feeling? What is it missing? What does it want instead? You don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to know the how. You don't have to be ashamed. Just find out what those voices are trying to get through to you by knocking stuff over, so that a conversation opens and this road can be a lot easier than it will be if you fight yourself. It's that simple.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I would say if you're drawn to working with someone, to having someone guide you through this, it's a beautiful option to work with someone like Shari or myself, who has a
100%.
therapist background, who understands the feelings, who isn't just going to steamroll you into, you know, because some people need that and they're at the stage for that. And that's totally the thing. But if you're not like even feeling safe with your feelings, start with someone who knows feelings.
And I'm going to be very authentic here because that's how I roll. There will not be a time that I don't work with someone. I cannot see my blind spots. If I want to keep growing and serve how I want to serve, then I am lying to the people who hire me for support. Amen. If I don't have support, I can't see over here. I don't get to coast because I hold the responsibility of my own development as well as the people around me who trust me. That's a lot of responsibility that I take very seriously. There's nothing wrong with needing help. I think it's beautiful. I love being able to find new things that I need to work on. And we just finished August. No, we didn't. We finished July. I had one of the most transformative months in my life because I did another deep dive into myself. For the month of July, I uncovered stuff. I spent most of the month crying, and it ended up being one of the best months I've had in my business. Because and that's the other thing, you know, if you're afraid to go deep, you're not only holding yourself back, you're holding the people that you work with back. Because if I only go to here and someone comes in, I can take them straight down to here, but we're both going to hit the floor because I can't take them where I haven't allowed myself to go. That's just not truthful. I would feel like a fraud. And honestly, I don't know what it looks like down here until I go down there. So I have to go down to the basement, clean it up, turn the lights on, and then I can bring them down.
Absolutely.
And it is something that I think a lot of people forget when they look from the outside, like she has it together, her business is this. The reason it is because we keep going. So you can have that too if you choose to keep going.
100%. Such good, important note-taking stuff here, guys. It's so key to dive in, to have that support, you don't go there once. You don't tap for 10 minutes. No. You don't, say 10 mantras and then wonder why it hasn't shifted. If you haven't gone into the darkness, then that's why it hasn't shifted. And for me, for other people may be different, but for me, I don't know if this is true for you, Shari, it does show up in the money.
It's the first place. To me, that's the one place because it's the one place I'll pay attention to. Yeah. I will ignore it if it's somewhere else.
Right.
Last year, in the middle of my business, by ignoring stuff, I got pneumonia and broke my foot all in 3 weeks because I wouldn't listen. Business was good. I was hustling. Money was coming in and I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't get quiet. I wouldn't slow down. I finally got good momentum. Wouldn't listen. Wouldn't slow down. Lost my voice. Got pneumonia for 7 weeks. I couldn't breathe. I had to take off old stuff that was sitting on my lungs. Slow me down. I tripped and broke my foot. Last summer, I was out for 5 weeks. I sat home, not being able to talk or move. Imagine how deep I went there. And guess what? It's the next summer I'm still going, but I won't not listen again because it does show up in the money. All of a sudden, the fears come back. I don't know if I can raise my prices. I don't want to pitch. I'm not in the mood. Suddenly, I'm not in the mood to do discovery calls. Something's wonky. Money's drying up. And then all of a sudden, the panic buttons start. And so, that is definitely where it shows up. And I think because it's the best way we'll be held by our face masks to pay attention because that one we can't ignore. We have bills to pay.
Absolutely. It keeps you accountable to yourself, to your self process, right?
Oh, yes.
And it's so poignant the way that you put it. It's the only place we'll really not be able to ignore it because what's the other option, right? Oh my God, so many goosebumps in this one, guys. This is amazing. So you just described what you're leading us into every question. What your relationship with money has been on this journey. Is there anything more you want to say about that? It seems like it's pretty reflective.
This is a really big one for me. And I want to talk about it because I think it's very important for people to understand. Most of us come from entrepreneurship from all different angles. So some people worked in corporate, some people, worked in offices. I was a stay-at-home mom. Again, I was that Stepford wife, stay-at-home mom. I was an artist, but I got married at 22, had a baby at 24, was home all those years. Ran the school, did all this stuff, had a lot of powerful positions, but not being paid. So when I got divorced, one of the most transformational parts of my life over the past 7 years was understanding my money blocks, what I was afraid of, the fact that I didn't know how to allow myself to earn money. I didn't feel responsible for that. Like, I can help anyone. I've always been like this my whole life. But to receive money for that, to make money something that comes to the table that for a long time would stop someone from getting help because they couldn't pay. Well, there were times I couldn't pay. How could I do that to someone? It was this whole money has been one of the most transformational parts of my life story here, because I had to completely redefine, and it's something I'm still working on. So my money mindset was a big thing that held me back, because what I ended up doing at the beginning of my business was creating an environment where I had a lot of people working with me, but I wouldn't receive the money. I would deflect it. So I brought in people who wanted to pay but couldn't. They were my reflection. I wasn't going to tell a single mom she couldn't have help and feel something unless she paid me money she didn't have because I didn't have. And it was like, oh, hello, fun house of mirrors. I was surrounded. And I had to learn to heal that. Oh my God, it was crazy. The readiness factor, the worthiness
so
factor.
many people are dealing with this.
The investment in themselves. This isn't about my money. It's about, I know when someone gives me something free, I don't show up the same way as when I have skin in the game. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter how many zeros are behind it. And then it created a thing where I'm very set on, I do pro bono work. I will always have clients who do not pay me because it fulfills that part of me that needs to give without messing with my finances. So I make sure there's a clean line of the type of clients that I bring in, as well as who
lovely. I've never heard of somebody
I needed it. It was selfish. I needed it for me.
That's so beautiful.
Every month I will have at least 1 or 2 clients who are free.
That you just draw to yourself. Yeah. They just come to you and it feels right.
Yeah. And it's people who show up. It's not the freebie grabbers or the ones who want to moan. It's the perfect people that the only thing that's missing is the fact that they can't pay. And I know when we do the work, it'll crank open. And those are my people. And to me, their readiness is payment enough.
That is gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. And such a beautiful note for people who are healers and entrepreneurs that you get to decide. Once you heal your stuff, you can do what Shari did. You can allot, 1 or 2 or whatever you decide that is, aligned and right and means you're not drowning and all that kind of stuff. Right. That you can do that you can have that philanthropic part of yourself.
Choice that it never goes wrong because it's a container that makes sense for both of us. And I know that I'm very emotions driven. So that part of me must be fulfilled. That piece of service that's not connected to payment has to be fulfilled. And I couldn't figure out how to do it until I created this. And then the paying clients came in because I wasn't blocking it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It was such a weird, metamorphosis, how it came about. And
but it makes so much sense.
It's changed everything for me.
Wow, that's brilliant. This is going to speak to so many people who have a healer spirit. They're not just an entrepreneur, but they're a true healer. They're on this earth to heal other people, and they can't somehow negotiate this part.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, we talked about the struggle. We talked about the hardest part being not seeing the fruit of your labor while you're doing the work on yourself. Anything else you want to say about that?
I know we all read it. I know we all hear it, and I didn't get it until I felt it. So I want to reiterate it because I still forget it myself. So I'm reiterating it for myself too. Why the vibration matters in that exact moment is because if you can't feel what you want to feel, you can't get what you want to get. So on those low days, you're not being Pollyannic by saying, I'm going to go dance when I have no money in the bank. sitting and thinking about it is going to make less money in the bank. So this is not a silly thing. This is an ownership of self to say, I'm making a conscious choice to want something else, even though I can't see it. You know, I'm a jaded New Yorker. You tell me to believe something or say a mantra that's not true. What my inner critic does to it, destroys it. It makes it worse. So it's like, I'm not trying to fool anyone here. I'm just choosing to feel good on a bad day. That's all I'm doing. Nobody attack me in my head.
Oh, that
so
is
it's not
gold.
this, imaginary, I'm going to, breathe unicorns and rainbows. It's not that. It's that I know today's a crappy day. What am I going to do about it right now to feel one iota less crappy, one tiny step? That's all that shift.
Choose to feel good even when I'm feeling bad.
Yes.
Is huge. And that can mean tap negative. I feel like crap.
Anything.
I don't know what to do.
You know what it is? Exactly. It's
anything.
Space, an inch between you and the emotion, and all of a sudden there's
Make space, even an inch between you and the emotion.
Yeah.
That's like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of therapy for you right now. Okay, I hope you're taking that in. Tap while you're listening to Shari. This has been an amazing chat. I feel so inspired. Your vibration lifts me up.
Oh, thank you
I'm so excited for all the people that are going to watch and listen to this and feel the same way. One just fun thing, what do you love to splurge on? What are some of your favorite things that you love to like do, manifest, splurge on?
Crystals, books, journals, candles, keep the shoes and the diamonds. I like pretty things around me.
Oh, gorgeous.
I'm an experienced person, so I love that stuff. Like I live 10 minutes outside of New York City. For me, a splurge day is to just take myself out on a date. It doesn't even have to cost me anything. Like I'll go to a neighborhood I haven't been through. I'll go to like a little cafe and treat myself to a coffee that I wouldn't usually get. I'm a big people watcher, and I live right here. There's a lot of people to watch. It's the self-care stuff that for so many years I didn't give myself that feels so luxurious, even if it doesn't cost me money, because there are times that I can't go splurge and it's not appropriate at the time. I've got 2 kids who, need that money. So it's like, it's the splurge of time. It's the splurge of,
and notice that you can
self-love is really, there's no price on that.
That can feel as luxurious as fill in the blank.
Yes, and it also doesn't then carry the guilt of like the hangover the next day. Like, why did I buy that? Why did I press go on that? Why did this box arrive? I was in, a self-pity coma and I pressed this on Zappos and there's shoes in my house and I don't remember. But, there's a whole train wreck over there.
Yeah.
It's that intention of like, why am I buying this candle? What does it smell like to me? What does it do to me when I smell it? What does this crystal feel like? When I look at it, will I remember what I felt like when it called me in the store? It's all those like just treating myself like the little girl in me just feels special. Oh,
that's beautiful. Gorgeous. Love that. Where can everybody find you? What are you up to? Where can people join you, play with you?
I'm all over the place. My website is ShariTeigman.com. I have a podcast called The Creative Soul Lab, which is a lot of fun. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I'm on, but I don't use because I'm not really a 160 character kind of person. So I haven't quite figured that one out. But I'm doing live streams on my Facebook page, which is just Shari D. Teigman. I have a couple of fun opt-ins and I send out fun, silly newsletters so people get a slice of my world. And I say this on every interview I'm on. As you see, I don't only speak to people who pay me. So if there's anybody out there who wants to have a conversation, shoot me an email, Shari@ShariTeigman.com. I will hop on a call with anyone. Just a soul chat, just to talk, to feel seen, understood, loved, and heard. It doesn't have to lead anywhere. Sometimes those little tiny conversations, I know when people offered them to me, they changed my life, and I will always pay that forward. So if there's anyone who feels like they feel called to call me and have a conversation, shoot me a message. You are such a blessing, Shari. Oh my God, that is so gorgeous. You have an energy that is rare in this business. Thank you. It's so real, and it's a real honor. I'm very intent on holding on to that and making sure we all have trouble not morphing into each other and not, you know, chasing after what looks like it works and staying on our own mountain. And I believe in my own mountain and welcoming people up. I don't want to
It's
do
so
anything anyone else's
beautiful.
way.
This is what the true spirit of entrepreneurship and of giving looks like. So I hope you're looking at it good and hard, everyone, because it looks like Shari D. Teigman.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Thank you. Bye.